Hey everybody, just came back from the last day of our spring break trips to Disney. I found out that we were going to Disney like three days in a row, and I thought it'd be a good idea now to give you guys our entire spring break Disney coverage thing. In this video, there's tons of POV and some other stuff. Just basically what we did. We had some cousins over, we also saw some friends. It's all in this video. Hopefully you enjoy it, and here is Spring Break 2019. Really cool. I just got a brand new hat for my aunt and uncle. They made a new era hat for Just Epic, which is really cool. If you're watching this video, thanks for the hat. Today we're going to Epcot, and we're just going to go check out the new flower garden stuff. We're also going to ride Spaceship Earth, Mission Space, and then Test Track. We also have cousins over, so you can see them too. It should be a fun day. Let's get started. We're in Epcot now. It's kind of cool.
Initiated. Navigator, initiate thrusters to adjust pitch. Now. Computer override. Initiated. Engineer, activate flight camera. Now. Initiated. Your flight path today is taking you across the United States, past the Grand Canyon, and leaving the continent at San Francisco. The space station should be coming into view. And down on Earth, the Hawaiian Islands. In a moment, you'll be crossing paths with another X2, just launched from the Pacific.
There's Aiden.
Up ahead, you should see Japan, the land of the rising sun. As you cross into China, you'll pass Beijing, the Great Wall, and we've got reports of a storm brewing over the Gobi Desert. Passing over the Himalayas, you should have a gorgeous night view of India. going to be a challenging approach, and we'll need all of you working together. Pilot, initiate landing sequence. Now. Initiated.
Who wants to send the ship? Who wants to send the ship down in flames?
Now.
I don't. I want to send the ship down in flames.
Engineer, extend wings for gliding. Now. Wings extended. Commander, activate manual control. Now.
I gotta die.
All
Look at the
hands on
control.
the control sticks.
Look at the control there.
All right. Now left. Right. Left. Back to center. Hold it steady.
Forward. Forward.
They're coming in too hot. Pull back.
Forward.
Sound clear. Mission accomplished. Good work, team. Welcome back to Earth. Welcome to the astronaut corps.
Please remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside your door tray. Keep a watchful eye on your children, and oh yes, please don't let your imaginations run wild.
Bienvenidos. Para su seguridad durante su estadía antes de
don't mean that.
tenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del vehículo. Y cuide a los pequeñitos. Gracias.
We're just gonna do a scotch. Let me know when it's Can we smell it?
Welcome to our special drive-through open house. I'm Dr. Nigel Channing, Chairman of the Imagination Institute. Hello. On your tour, you'll see how the 5 human senses can help capture your imagination.
Oh, can I go too?
Absolutely not. This is one of our discoveries, the figment of imagination.
Yeah, I know all about the senses. There's sight, sound, smell, touch, coochie coochie go, and taste. Taste my chicken. Can I go? Please, please, please.
No, I don't want you out of my sight.
Out of sight? Okay. Come on, everybody. Here we go.
Figment, you are not to interfere with the tour. Our first stop is the sound lab. We'll begin by testing your hearing with a series of tones. Left ear, right ear. Left, right. What? This is odd. Hello? Who is this?
It's Figment.
Figment? I thought I told you not to interfere.
But you've got it wrong, Doc. It's not about listening with your ears. It's about listening with your imagination.
Now I've completely lost my train of thought.
No, you haven't. It's over here. All aboard. Woo-hoo! Next stop, imagination. For every sound your ears are hearing, 1,000 thoughts can start appearing, and each of us imagines different things. From just a sound, your mind has wings.
Continuing now, if I may, in a calm, scientific, figment-free manner, the things we see with our eyes can control the eyes of the imagination. Let's begin by using the eye chart to test your vision. Now, all together, if you would please read line 3 and...
With FIGMGNT, you can see things differently. Sure, you can see with your eyes, but imagine what you could see if you used your imagination. Follow the bouncing figment.
Oh God.
One spark of light can light your fancy. Your mind sees more than what your eyes see. Your sense of sight can make your fancy fly. There's more to sight than meets the eye.
Imagination must be captured and controlled.
Imagination works best when it's set free. Just turn your imagination loose and anything can happen.
Oh my gosh, he just disappeared.
Figment? Figment? Let's go. research shows that smells often trigger the imagination, especially when pleasant, familiar smells come into play.
Come into play? I'd love to!
This is not a good time.
It's always a good time to use your imagination, so let the good times roll! Woohoo! You win one sample!
Really stinks.
Of course, Doc. The nose knows. One auto lift can send you reeling. One lovely sniff can be appealing. Your mind defines what enters through your nose. That's how you tell what's talking out a rose.
You know, I'm sorry, but after that big stink in the smell lab, I hesitate to send you into the touch and taste labs. Perhaps I should end my open house right here.
Great idea. We'll go to my open house instead. It's much more fun. Right this way, everybody.
Figment, what is going on? You're turning this entire open house upside down.
Upside down? Now you're talking. That's the best idea you've had all day. With just a spark of inspiration, I made my house an innovation. Imagination really clowns around. Things come side up and upside down. Now here's a real open house. Come on in. So what do you think? Is it me?
More than you can imagine.
Doc, it's exactly what I imagined. Imagination is the brain's open house.
Of course! Imagination is just turning your thinking upside down. Come on, Figment. It's time to get back to the Institute.
I know a shortcut.
Well, if you can't beat them, join them. We all have sparks.
Imagination. That's how our minds create creations.
We set them free. And all what they can do. Those magic sparks.
From me and you. You see, Doc, I knew you'd get it. Because you got a wonderful imagination.
I do. Oh, yes. Well, thank you, Figment. And so, as you can plainly see, imagination works the best when it's set free.
You said it, Doc. Imagination is a blast.
Our inspiration is at the heart of all creation, right at the start of everything that's new. And now we invite you to set your imaginations free.
We just got our new pacifier magnets. It's kind of cool. Pluto, and then Leafs in the background. It's the first sheet. Is it so good? It's so good. Sorry, I'm kind of all over the place. It's really busy right now. But basically, we are approaching Mexico, and I think we're going to do the Three Caballeros ride.
Who's in the dark? Hey, hey, wrong stop. Goodbye. Excuse me, we are looking for a dog. Never mind. Excuse me. Adios, amigos! Come again! See you next time! We'll be watching for you! Catch us on tour! Viva Mexico! Goodbye! Adios, amigos! Come again! See you next time!
And Donald, next time, please stay on the surrounding, okay?
This is day 2, and today we are going to Hollywood Studios. So today we are just going around the park. We're gonna do Tower of Terror, Rock and Roller Coaster, and some Toy Story Land rides, hopefully, because it's kind of raining and it's really cloudy right now. So yeah, let's get started. Our first stop has to be the Hollywood Tower of Terror. Hollywood, like the Tower.
Staying there for the night.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
To unlock this door with the key of imagination, beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the
Twilight Zone. We just finished Tower of Terror, and that was really fun. Now we are headed towards Toy Story Land, I believe, or something like that. I think we might do Slinky Dog Dash today, but we'll just have to see. So let's get right to it.
Happy birthday, Raven! I can't swim!
Oh yeah, I wanted this song. So now we're gonna do Rock and Roller Coaster. Yay! Excited for it. We have to really book it, so I think I'm just gonna stop right here. Our fast pass for Everest ends in 15 minutes, so yeah. I just need to get over there. And there's also a humongous line for getting in the park, so there's that too. But we'll see you guys when we're actually in the park. So yeah, bye. Alright, it's time to ride. It's super crowded, but we're still going to use our fast pass. Hey, single hours open. It has a super long line. I'll video after the ride, whatever the heck that is. So see you after the ride. So guys, now we are heading towards It's Tough to Be a Bug. The terror is just steps away. I wish this day never had to come.
200 million to 1. Maybe it's time you honorary bugs got a taste of your own medicine. What? You're still alive? This means war! Sticky little motels. Nothing can stop us. Ha! Nothing!
We just did a Tough to Be a Bug and it's torture. And now we're heading towards Dinosaur, I think, because our fast pass is in like an hour, so yeah.
I mean, that's how I got it. Hi guys, we're in the Dinosaur. We're temporarily closed and don't know how long. I know! Here we go.
Size on alert, we got you clear good slides, twin day. There's all my friends and welcome to our Army Wildlife Reserve. My name's Lauren. I'm gonna be your guide over the next couple weeks as we get out there and hopefully get to see some pretty amazing animals. This could be anyone's first safari? No? Awesome. Well, welcome back, folks. You guys excited to see some animals?
Yes.
There you go.
Look at that baby giraffe.
We're gonna get pretty lucky. We're gonna begin our time together out here in the Little Forest. Now the forest, well, it's gonna be home to those animals that are fantastic at camouflage. We're talking these friends, they are so good. Well, that means they're gonna depend on their camouflage as a means of survival. So you're gonna want some really sharp eyes out, especially behind those bushes and around those trees. You never know what friends might be just around the corner. In fact, you'll find quite a few on that right-hand side. First off, you'll spy that smaller animal walking towards us. It's going to be known as the yellowback diker. And diker, it is an old Afrikaans word. It actually means to dive. And that's what those friends do best. They dive straight into the water to escape any of those oncoming predators. And a little further over, of course, the okapi. Now, the okapi was not discovered in the Western world until 1901. Now, when it was, everyone thought that those friends were related to zebras because of the black and white markings that are found on its legs. But they're actually the closest living known relative to the giraffe. That's for a couple of reasons. Those friends, they have prehensile tongues like the giraffe, so those super long as well as flexible tongues to strip the branches of, or leaves off the branches of trees. They also have Oscar horns. Those little nubs that stick out just on top of a giraffe's head. And speaking of horns, look over on that left-hand side. It's gonna be a black rhino. Isn't it black? The black rhinos are gonna weigh in on average around 3,000 pounds. Charging up to speeds of nearly 35 miles per hour, and they only have one known predator out there. Now, sadly, that one predator, well, it's mankind. And it's actually things like human poaching that now leave less than 5,000 of those beautiful animals out in the wild. Now, at one point in time, we humans truly believed the horn of a black rhino held a medicinal value to it. However, research taught us that we were wrong. Since those horns, well, they're going to be made up of something that's known as keratin. And ironically enough, that ends up being the same stuff that makes up our hair, as well as our fingernails. Now, as you journey a little deeper into the forest, keep some sharp eyes out, since these animals, while they do depend on camouflage, are also very shy, as well as very timid. So they do love to hang out, especially out in the shadows. So you never know what you might find just around the corner. In fact, look just up on the hillside on the left. You'll be able to spy some bongos. The bongos, they do have a bit of a reputation to them. They're going to be known as the ghosts of the forest. And that's because those friends are rarely ever seen out there. And those lighter chain antelope are going to be known as greater kudu. Greater kudu, they end up being the second largest antelope held all throughout Africa. Now, I don't know about you friends, but I'm definitely ready to get out there and see some more animals. So we're going to twin day. We're going to go and leave the forest behind us so we can head out towards the Sapi River. Now, life out here in the Sapi River is a completely different story. That's because the animals that call this place home, well, they don't depend on camouflage. Now, these friends, they're going to depend on the water. So let's keep some sharp eyes out. You never know what friends might be hanging out just beneath the surface. But you want to keep in mind, these animals might be under the water. And in that case, you'll probably hear those friends before you see them. Now, as you do come around the bend here, you'll notice a couple of gray-looking birds hanging out just by the island over there. It does look like we have found some pink-back pelicans. Pink-back pelicans get their name since during their mating season, well, those friends are going to turn a truly beautiful light shade of pink. As you might have guessed, that pink it is going to stretch all across their backs. They hold a very impressive wingspan. Those wings are reaching anywhere from 7 to 9 feet wide. It's about the same length as the full canopy is just above our heads. Now, just by the island there, you can make out, reaching by the surface, a couple of Nalapotamus. The Nalapotamus, they are going to make a very peculiar sound. It comes out like a wheeze honk, also known as a honk or wheeze noise. And how that sound is going to come out, it is up to the hippo. Those noises, they are very individualized. That's how they're able to tell the difference between one another out in the wild. Now, these friends, they do have the amazing ability to hold their breath for around 8 minutes at a time. That's why they are so often seen hanging out just beneath the surface of the water. Although they love coming up on land, especially if they need a quick bite to eat, or even just to take a quick nap. But yeah, folks, hang on tight and do remain seated since I'm spying some Nile crocodiles just ahead. Ooh, crocodile. The Nile crocodiles are going to weigh in on average around 500 pounds. They'll be a length of roughly 16 feet long. That means if you So in order for those friends to go ahead and warm up their bodies, all they have to do is lie out on the land. Crocodiles found on the land, well, you're going to want to call that the bask of crocodile. Easy to remember, like they're basking in the sun. And if those friends get too warm, all they have to do is dive straight into the water. And then all crocodiles in the water, you don't want to call it a float. See those friends really get too warm though? All they have to do is open up their mouths to let off some of that excess hot air and better regulate their body temperatures. Now glancing over on your right, you're going to spot some new vegetation. That's going to be a baobab tree. And these trees, they are leafless for roughly 9 months out of the year. So people started calling them the upside down tree. But the really impressive thing with those trees are their trunks. That's because those trunks are capable of holding thousands of gallons of water in them at any one point in time. Very handy to look, especially out here on the savannah. In fact, during time out, many of those animals, they'll turn to baobab trees to get a fresh source of water. And that's why these days, baobab trees are going to be much better known as the tree of life. Now welcome folks to the savannah. The savannah, well, let's give you home to many of those galactic animals we all grew up knowing and loving. So you want some good eyes out, especially behind those tall blades of grass around those trees. You never know what might be right around the bend.
Like a baby giraffe.
Okay, as we do come around this bend here, keep an eye on your left-hand side. Just by the rock formation, you're going to be able to make out some African wild dogs.
Wild dogs.
The African wild dogs, they end up being the #1 most successful hunters found all throughout Africa. And they're going to come in with around a 90% success rate when they do hunt. It's because those friends, they like to team up together. They're going to hunt the pack. And when they hunt, those friends will reach speeds of nearly 30 miles per hour and maintain those speeds for roughly 3.5 miles at a time.
So the
They'll truly chase their prey down to the brink of exhaustion.
So the rhinos are faster at 35.
A couple of sable antelope coming up on your left. And look at those friends' horns. You'll notice those horns end up pointing right towards their back. Very handy tool, especially against any of those pouncing predators that might call this land their home. And for an animal were to come up and pounce on the back of one of those friends, they're going to fall right on off thanks to those horns. And some Patterson eland grazing up just on that hillside on the left, those lighter teen antelope. Eland, they end up being the largest antelope that we know of, weighing in at around 2,000 pounds and fully grown. Wow. Now, don't let the truck confuse you. Those friends are going to be standing roughly 6 feet in height. 2,000 pounds. And just at the shoulder, well, again, those friends will be 6 feet, but they'll double their height. Because from where they're standing, they will jump an additional 6 feet straight up in the air. Looks like we found a few more friends as we come around the bend. You'll be able to notice a couple of Ankoli cattle far over on that right-hand side. These animals with the very large horns. The Ankoli cattle, I know their horns, they look really heavy, but they're actually hollow. It's kind of a honeycomb pattern that goes on inside there. And since those horns are hollow, well, it means that blood can be pumped all throughout, which is a quick and easy way for them to go ahead and cool off their bodies, especially during those hotter African days. And tucked just behind those Ankoli cattle, you'll spy some springbok. And that springbok end up being the lightest antelope that we know of, weighing in at only around 100 pounds and fully grown. Those friends get their name because they do truly spring forward, roughly 13 feet or so at a time. It's about half the length of this truck. Now a little further behind those friends, those gray animals, it's a full herd of white-bearded wildebeest. Wildebeest, they do sadly get their names from the Afrikaans. They were given their name because the Afrikaans looked upon their faces and thought those friends looked like wild beasts. But Hakuna Matata, folks, no worries. Because these days those animals, they are going by a second name at this point in time. It's one you probably have heard of. They're going to be referred to as the Gnu. It's spelled G-N-U, and it's the noise those animals will make, especially if they try to communicate back and forth to one another. Now glancing up on your left-hand side, it looks like we have found the tallest land animal that we know of. It's a giraffe. Now, giraffe, they're going to reach a height anywhere from 18 to 20 feet when fully grown. And those ones will start off pretty tall. Typically, a young giraffe will be born at roughly 6 feet in height. Now, these friends, they're going to be spending a majority of their day doing what giraffes do best. They'll be eating. And giraffes towards around 20 hours or so throughout their day eating, saving roughly only 30 minutes to sleep. Those 30 minutes are not going to be taken all at one point in time. So they like to break them down typically into mini power naps. And those will range anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. Now those short power naps, they do allow the job now almost always be on the lookout for those oncoming predators. Now coming up on your left-hand side, you're going to be able to spy some mandrills throughout the trees. Mandrills, they are truly a monkey. If you look closely, you'll spy that small tail these friends have. And although mandrills end up being the largest monkey that we know of, these ones are much better known for their blue and red markings. The brighter those markings are, the more likely it is to be found a male. And on the right-hand side, the beautiful African elephant. These ones are pretty easy to identify. Just check out those amazing ears. You'll notice those ears, they do kind of resemble Africa for you. In fact, as they flap back and forth, those ears are going to create a very strong wind gust. They'll be reaching speeds of nearly 15 miles per hour, which is very useful pulling out those friends during those hotter African days. Hang on tight, folks. Sadly, it looks like our road is closed off to the rest of African elephant territory. But Hakuna Matata, no worries. Because lucky for you folks, I know some pretty handy back roads. Just hang on tight, they get a little bumpy. The African elephants, they were starting quite a commotion, especially out over in Kenya. And that's because they tried to destroy the farmlands over there. Now those farmers, they were very smart. They turned to some research, and it's how we found out that African elephants are not a big fan of bees. So those farmers, they went ahead, they put beehives all around their farmlands, which worked out for them pretty well. In fact, these days, not only do those African elephants leave those farmlands alone, but now the farmers get the added benefit of being able to sell some honey for an additional profit. Now it does look like that back road has done the trick. Looks like we found our way back out on the reserve. Even find some animal markings. This could even be some elephant tusk marks over there on the right. In fact, glancing up on your left, another beautiful African elephant. Now take a good look at that friend's back, because you're going to notice it's a little miscolored. Because out here in Africa, the animals, they do not have a good source of sunscreen, so we're going to make their own. And homemade sunscreen, as you guys probably guessed, that means mud. Now friends like African elephants, they love rolling around in that mud since it is such a quick and easy tool for them to go ahead and cool off their bodies. But those friends, they are pretty lucky and they have their amazing trunks to help them out as well. Now the trunk of an African elephant, it does have around 40,000 muscles in it alone. But not only that, those trunks, they are capable of picking up an item as small as a dime off of the ground. That means those friends can go ahead, collect some mud, and fling that mud directly onto their backs, or wherever it is that the UV rays from the sun are hitting those friends the harshest. Friends find quite a few African elephants scattered throughout, which isn't too surprising. These friends, they are a very social animal. Typically, though, around their teenage years, well, a lot of the men like to go off by themselves. And if they're not alone, they usually find another male companion. We're going to refer to that as a bachelor pad. Who, if so many of these friends out and about it, looks like we've truly found some females. Even looks like a young African elephant lying out over there. Based off the size of that friend, I'd say it's probably only around 2. Could possibly be 3 years old. Now, African elephants, they do have a very long pregnancy. We're talking those moms will be pregnant for around 22 months. So almost 2 full years. Wow. However, at the end of that very long time frame, those moms will be rewarded with a beautiful 300-pound baby. As you come around that bend here, keep an eye on your left. Looks like you found some greater flamingos. And all flamingos, well, they do start off a shade of gray. And it's going to take around a year or so on a diet that mostly consists of things like brine shrimp. They're supposed to switch from that shade of gray, and they'll eventually become the famous king that they are known and loved for. Now, if you ever do spy a full flock of flamingos like that, you're going to want to refer to that as a flamboyance. As we come around the bend, it looks like we have found the largest bird that we know of. It's going to be an ostrich. Now, while ostrich are the largest bird, these birds, ironically enough, they're a flightless bird. So those wings of theirs are going to help those animals to maneuver themselves to the left or to the right as they run. However, think like an airplane. Now you can't just make out part of a white rhino just over that right hand side. Now white rhinos are obviously not white. In fact, all rhinos are going to be a shade of gray. But those friends, they get their names from the Afrikaans. And they were initially given the name white rhino. Now white is an old Afrikaans word. It actually means wide. It's in reference to the very wide jawlines that those friends have. However, when English settlers came about, they did not hear the word white. They heard the word white, and the name has stuck with those animals ever since. Now, as we come around the bend here, keep an eye up right by those logs on the left-hand side. You're able to spy part of a cheetah. Now, cheetahs, they end up being the fastest land animal that we know of, reaching speeds of 0 to 70 miles per hour in only around 3 seconds. And they won't maintain that speed all too long. Typically, only for around 100 yards or so before those friends do completely tucker out.
Is there electric fence?
Now, cheetahs, they do end up being one of the rare daytime cats. Just under their eyes, they have a beautiful black teardrop pattern. So those friends are able to reflect the sun off their face. Kind of like how black face paint can help out a football player. In fact, cheetahs, they end up being the only big cat out there that's gonna hurt. The noise they make close to is almost the sound you've probably heard coming from your house cat. Now, speaking of big cats, look just up by that copy on your left-hand side. You're gonna be able to spy some lioness. Actually, looks like these friends have just settled down for a quick cat nap, which is not all too surprising. The lions are gonna sleep anywhere from 16 to 20 hours throughout the day.
Nice.
These friends, they end up sleeping so much, they'll only be truly awake for around 3 full years of their life.
Wow.
The lions are gonna do the majority of their sleeping during these daylight hours. In fact, while the sun's up, the vision of a lion is only around the same as a human. Come nightfall though, their vision will intensify nearly 6 times. That's going to keep those friends as one of the more successful hunters found throughout Africa. They come in between a 25 and a 40% success rate for when they do hunt. And you're able to spy a whole grouping of white rhinos coming up on your right-hand side. These friends, they have excellent hearing. They don't see too well. It's usually only around 10 feet or so in front of them. So you couple that with the fact that those animals will reach speeds of nearly 35 miles per hour, and a full grouping of rhino like that, you don't want to call it a crash. That does look like there's another line hanging out just by the tip of the copy over here. Maybe folks are going to be sticking around these perch, especially a little later on this evening. Keep a good ear out. The roar of a lion, it can be heard from around 5 miles away. In fact, those roars, they are so strong and powerful. Well, they've been known to rattle the very ground that we are on right now. If you glance up on the hillside up on the right, you'll be able to spy some bontebok. Now, back in the early 19th century, there were only 17 of those animals left in existence.
Oh, wow.
It's because they were hunted for those beautiful coats that they have. Now, farmer in Africa was really smart. Went ahead and put all 17 of those friends together into one enclosure. That's how they ended up saving the entire species from extinction. Now, sadly these days, well, those friends, they are still extinct out in the wild. However, thanks to reserves like these, well, they're making a really good comeback in numbers. And today they've reached nearly 2,300 out there. Now, folks, we are leaving the savannah behind us. We're actually going to be crossing over into the wetlands, much better known as McGatty Glen. However, sadly, this does mean that our journey together is coming to a close. We got really lucky out there though, saw some amazing animals like those Nile hippopotamus, great views of those African elephants, and even got a glimpse of those lions. Now you want to keep in mind that the animals that do call the reserve home, they are just spokesmen for their friends out in the wild. Out there, they're facing a lot of hardships, things like poaching and habitat loss, and all that coupled together, it's cutting into their numbers pretty drastically. Now over here at Disney's Animal Kingdom, there are efforts put forward, things like Disney's Conservation Fund to help out those friends in need. If you folks want to learn a little more about how those efforts work, you'll definitely want to swing by any of those merchandise stands found throughout the park because you're going to get to stay with us. While you're over there, check out the brand new reusable bags that have recently been released throughout all 4 of the Walt Disney World theme parks. Those bags are going to come in a variety of styles. Just depends on the park that you're visiting. They're also going to come in a variety of sizes, a small, a medium, as well as a large. So it can truly be customized for whatever your day-to-day needs may be. Of course, if you friends want to learn some more Greek conservation facts for yourself, go online. Visit DisneyAnimals.com for some tips and tricks on how to help out some of your favorites throughout Africa. Manatee safaris are able to tame in the animals. They love to guarantee that one. So if you folks did not get to see a favorite out there, or maybe you now have a new favorite, maybe you just want to test your luck out on another safari, well, I do strongly recommend swinging by one real soon. Keep in mind though that the last safari will depart at 8:15 this evening. Now we are quickly approaching those departure docks, so now is a great time to double check those rows. Make sure you're not leaving any of those valuable items behind here in Harambe. And our dear friends, we don't like to say goodbye, since goodbyes are far too sad and final. So instead, I'll leave you with Quarini. Quarini, well, it roughly translates to go out. So Quarini, folks, go out, and go educate. And have a great rest of your stay here in Harambe.
So Dinosaur broke down, and we used our fast pass on Kilimanjaro Safaris, but reopened, and it said it was only 20 minutes, which isn't too bad. And now we're almost up there, but just a little shot. And sorry if you can't hear me, I think you can, but Bill Nye's talking over me, so yeah.
It's on to the tour that will convince you forever that the future is truly in the past.
Yep, this is the funny part.
Hello there. Welcome to our little trans-dimensional joyride, folks. I'm Dr. Seeker, your friendly controller, and a heck of a paleontologist, if I do say so myself.
So yeah, my camera kind of died right after filming the Dinosaur pre-show, but right after Dinosaur, we really just left, and that was it for 3 days of Spring Break Disney. And we did a lot, even though it was very, very busy. We still did Flower and Garden, at Hollywood Studios, we still did Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, all those good stuff. And in Animal Kingdom, we did pretty much every major ride except for Flight of Passage, which was like 2 hours that day, 2 or 3. But that's it for my humongous Disney spring break video. If you liked it, drop a like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Have an epic day.